If you're planning to buy property in Lagos this 2026, there is a critical shift happening right now that most investors haven't fully adjusted to yet. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You can still lose money in Lagos real estate, even in a market where prices are technically going up. Because in 2026, appreciation alone is no longer the win. Lagos real estate is quietly moving into a more segmented, efficiency-driven phase, where how and where you position your capital matters far more than simply being in the market. This video is not about basic things like location or buy early. That's entry-level thinking. What I want to walk you through today are 5 structural shifts shaping Lagos real estate in 2026 and exactly how I would think differently as an investor because of them. Not louder decisions, smarter ones. For a long time, Lagos rewarded participation. You bought property, waited long enough, and inflation plus population growth did most of the work for you. But that phase is maturing, or maybe matured. What we're entering now is a market where returns are no longer evenly distributed. 2 investors can buy in the same year, in the same general area, and have completely different outcomes. So in 2026, the real risk isn't that prices won't rise. The real risk is that your asset ends up in the wrong layer of the market. And that brings me to the first shift. Localized growth is replacing citywide appreciation. There was a time when buying anywhere decent in Lagos felt safe. Lekki, Ikoyi, VI, it almost didn't matter exactly where. Demand was broad, supply was inefficient, and price was loose. That's no longer how this market works. In 2026, Lagos is no longer being priced as one city. It's being priced as a network of microeconomies. Growth is becoming corridor-specific, not aspirational. Infrastructure, transit access, employment density, and movement patterns are now active pricing variables. 2 properties 15 minutes apart can deliver radically different outcomes, not because one is better, but because one sits inside a functional demand loop and the other one doesn't. This is why some investors will swear Lagos is slowing down, while others are quietly outperforming. They are not in different cities, they are in different systems. In 2026, I wouldn't buy location the way most people define it. I would map movement, not prestige. I would follow where renters are being pushed from, where commuters are willing to live because it saves time, where infrastructure actually changes daily behavior. Because in this phase of the market, proximity to movement and utility beats proximity to reputation. The second shift, rental growth has reset. Yield quality matters more than rent increases. We've just come through an abnormal rental period. Rents didn't rise gradually, they jumped. And many investors have mistaken that spike for a permanent condition. It wasn't. What we experienced was a base reset, not a new growth curve. Post-reset markets behave differently. When rent shocks normalize, the market starts rewarding affordability bands, tenant retention, operational efficiency. Not every property fails in this phase, but many quietly underperform. High rent properties with fragile demand don't crash dramatically. They just sit longer, negotiate harder, and erode returns slowly. That's a more dangerous outcome because it's less obvious. In 2026, I would underwrite deals assuming flat rents, longer vacancy, more selective tenants. I would prioritize unit types with deep, repeatable demand, not stretched demand, because the strongest rental assets in this phase are not the ones charging the highest rent. They are the ones tenants can comfortably afford and consistently replace. For the third shift, infrastructure is no longer a promise. It's a filter. For years, investors were told, buy early, infrastructure will come. Sometimes it did come, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it came and changed nothing. So in 2026, infrastructure is no longer valued by just announcements. It's valued by behavioral impact. Does it reduce commute time meaningfully? Does it lower daily living friction? Does it expand where people are willing to live? If it doesn't change behavior, it doesn't create value, no matter how impressive it looks on paper. So in 2026, I would treat infrastructure as qualification tests, not upside. I would ask who uses this every day, who benefits economically, what pressure does it relieve? Because speculative infrastructure narratives are becoming expensive mistakes. For the fourth shift, mid-market demand is structurally stronger than luxury. Many investors still believe luxury equals safety, but price level has never been the same thing as demand strength. Demand strength is about volume and sustainability, not aesthetics. Nigeria's housing deficit is deepest in the mid-market. This segment absorbs faster, resists shocks better, and recovers quicker. Luxury depends on confidence, discretionary income, and FX cycles. Mid-market demand depends on necessity, and necessity is far more reliable. So in 2026, I would prioritize efficient layouts, functional design, serviceable estates. I would avoid designs that prices assets out of their natural demand pool, because boring properties, properly positioned, often outperform impressive ones. So for the fifth shift, macro stability changes risk, but only for disciplined investors. As inflation moderates and volatility stabilizes, the market becomes less forgiving. Chaos used to hide bad decisions. Stability exposes them. Macro stability doesn't lift all assets equally. It rewards disciplined underwriting, efficient operations, realistic pricing, and it quietly punishes speculative assumptions. So in 2026, I would stop betting on disorder. I would invest as if returns must come from structure and not luck. So if I were buying property in Lagos in 2026, I wouldn't rush, I wouldn't chase noise, I wouldn't rely on old playbooks in a market that's clearly evolving, because Lagos real estate in this phase is not harder, it's more honest. It rewards clarity, it punishes laziness, and it favors investors who understand second-order effects, not just trends. If you found this valuable, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.